Claims are a very important part of writing an analytical paragraph. And for this first paper, I'm going to teach you a very, unfortunately, rigid formula for how to do it. It really lays out the key elements you have to have. And then in paper 2 and paper 3, we'll expand, riff, and experiment on that. But my goal here in paper 1 is to make sure you have certain writing and thinking skills down in a very sort of fundamental way, a baseline you can return to if you need to, and then from there you improvise like a great jazz trumpeter on that foundation. So we're looking, as we work on this paper, at claims, we're looking at how to explain, how to apply, how to evaluate, and we're going to do each of those things at a more sophisticated level as the semester goes on. But here we start with the basics. And what I want to do is draw your attention to the criteria for the claim that are included in the rubric as the first bullet point under the explain section. And there it says, a claim identifies the interview and interviewee, uses an active verb, and presents a specific reason for work. So we're looking for those three things, specifically and exactly. And so if you have drafted a claim that suggests those things but doesn't come out and directly state them, what I want you to do during this session is shift to a more direct, straightforward approach. If you have these elements but are maybe having some trouble linking them together, I want you to focus on using that active verb link to structure the sentence. And if you are having trouble with a specific reason for work, I want you to brainstorm with your classmates to think about how to make what you have more specific. One tool you could use is the syllabus, that list of, 30 or plus reasons that we read together during the last class. Those are not the limits of what you can do. You can come up with hundreds of reasons for work beyond those, but they give you good examples of concrete reasons. Once again, what do I mean by that? We want to stay away from words like happy, to be successful, to be satisfied, to be fulfilled. These are vague. What kind of happiness? Psychological, emotional, financial? What kind of success? Psychological, emotional, financial, philosophical, social, cultural? There's so many possibilities there. Same with fulfillment. What kind of fulfillment are we talking about? Are we talking about spiritual fulfillment? Are we talking about romantic fulfillment? Are we talking about some other kind of fulfillment? So we want to stay clear of words like to be successful, to be happy, to be fulfilled, and try to look at concrete things, right? And that's one of the biggest areas you're going to be able to help each other today, really honing in on specificity. Because once you have a really specific reason for work, the paragraph really starts to flow. Because now, believe it or not, having the narrow idea opens up your thinking and frees you to make more developed connections than a broader idea that you spend most of your paragraph defining. So again, it's those three areas. Identify the interview and interviewee, have that active verb, and be very specific about your reason. And so I thought we could also take a quick look at the sample sentence claim. In the quote, demented college professor interview and gig, Jim Sullivan suggests, there's our active verb, suggests we should work for what? Intellectual freedom. Now notice that the interview title is in quotes, demented college professor. Gig, the book title, is in italics. And Jim Sullivan, the name of the person being interviewed, is capitalized. This is a really nice way to start thinking about MLA formatting and punctuation rules too, even as we're involved in the more sophisticated task of framing an argument. So now that we've reviewed the rubric criteria and the specific three elements of a claim and looked at how the sample has them, now it's your job to go one by one through your group and look at each other's claims. As you look at your classmates' claims, everybody in the group, including the writer, makes suggestions for how to develop that claim. Are all three things there? If not, what could be added and how? And your suggestions need to be typed up and inserted as a reply to your classmate's draft. Label that reply claim, because we're going to be looking at other aspects of the paragraph later, and make your suggestions as detailed as possible so that when your classmate goes home tonight and gets working on this, they have some real concrete resources to use. All right, good luck with this.